Namaste and welcome, beloved mighty companions, to this holy circle of infinite light of being. Divinity expressing as it is, whole and complete. And it occurred to me early this morning, like, well, okay, the sonship's here.
We're still good.
So the sonship's here. And therefore, through the power of infinite being that we are, the Son of God as one, we can ask for a miracle for perfect, supreme happiness 24/7. Right now. Jesus, do we have divine power to be supremely happy 24/7 right now in the light of divine being? Do we need to wait? Do we have the power right this minute in the light of divine being to fully accept the atonement? Boy, the light didn't say no to that. Wow. That's infinite being power. So it came this morning, so I just put that out there. It's our function to be happy 24/7 supremely. Therefore, miracles are divine right, so just go for the gusto. Together. And we're together when two or more are gathered in his name. So we're invoking the full power of God. It's in alignment with his will. Perfect happiness. So this morning after the session, it just came to start going through as the power of infinite light and really start from scratch, zero, at what a miracle is. To really be shown as the light of divine being, what a miracle really is in our direct experience, beyond any kind of concepts, anything that we've actually read in this book or think we know. Like for me, to go naked and just have him give it just as it is. And so we did the first 10, and I'll just do 10 again for the continuity between the videos. Number 10, the use of miracles as spectacles to induce belief is a misunderstanding of their purpose. So first, infinite light of being is that here, is the light here in our direct experience, infinite light. Infinite love in our direct experience. So we just place this. Is it true that use of miracles as spectacles to induce belief is a misunderstanding? We just ask the light. You can see in the light of divine being is a misunderstanding. And the reason is that because miracles undo beliefs. The formless doesn't need to look toward form to find that it's formless. Does the light need to see something, a spectacle, to recognize itself in any way, shape, or form? Or is it here? No spectacles. Now, form may start to reflect the purity as we see through these denials of divinity, the form may change. Yet does the miracle-minded confuse? The miracle-minded does not confuse form with identity. Miracle-mindedness is the recognition of light beyond form, infinite, unchanging. Can we recognize the infinite light of being now in our direct experiences, light beings, as light? So then we go to, so we understand it's a misunderstanding about miracles, that miracles are actually like a spectacle. As I said early this morning, and or said before, yeah, Jesus had, it wasn't about form in that expression of consciousness and beyond consciousness, the communication of the divine with the Son. Water into wine was just an expression of the movement of love, of divinity. There wasn't a spectacle or thought or Lazarus. It's just a purified mind, since all of creation, all of this seemingly illusion comes out of the beloved. As Jesus said, we're the same as him. Any of those things can appear in consciousness because we're beyond the laws of form. We're divine being, powerful, infinite. Which he says, to see that we're sovereign. Is the light sovereign over all things? Not sovereign with respect to the Father, but sovereign as the gift given to the Son of the kingdom of heaven. Number 11. It's really helpful to learn what that sovereignty is, what that means. Prayer is the medium of miracles. So we'll just ask in the light of divine being to show us that prayer is the medium of miracles. They're an expression of the celebration of the Son with the Father. It is a means of communication of the created with the Creator. There it is. Are we the created? In the light of divine being, infinitely created. Infant. Created is complete and whole. With the created, with the creator, with a capital C, creator. Communication. It opens up that communication that we've tried to block through the denial of miracles, denial of our divine right as sons of God. Through prayer, love is received. Aw. Through miracles, love is expressed. So they're the expression. That's why those miracle impulses, if we're blocking them and going into other, that's why we don't feel loved. Because they're an expression of divinity. Jesus is teaching us how to open up that divine expression through miracles. To receive and extend and express the love of God through miracles. The Father's love moves through us through miracles. So consciousness is a desire to play to block miracles. Let's ask the divine light. Is consciousness a play to try and block the experience of miracles? So through miracles, we come to see that love is received, and it's teaching us that expression, that we're simultaneous, giving and receiving are the same. We've tried to split out giving from receiving in consciousness. This is teaching us giving and receiving are the same. It's like a refresh button on that separation. That's the refresh button. Miracles are the refresh button. Miracles are thoughts. Thoughts can represent the lower body level of experience or the higher spiritual level of experience. That's why he teaches us thoughts of God. And of course, he uses higher level spiritual experience through thought. The thoughts that point directly to ourselves versus the wrong-mindedness that sends us out into consciousness, the play of consciousness, the lower order body level of experience. One makes the physical and the other creates the spiritual. Just asking Jesus if there's anything else to say about that. There's so much love in it, just asking. There's so much love in just asking. 13, miracles are both beginnings and endings, and so they alter temporal order. Mass and Jesus, the collapse of time and space. Within consciousness, they collapse time and space. Yet they are both beginnings and endings at the same time. That's how they collapse time and space. They were always affirmations of rebirth, which seem to go back but really go forward. So their return to the Father, their return to the honoring the Father, the divine light, the Father's will. They undo the past and the present and thus release the future. Is time simultaneous in the divine light of being? In our direct experience, is time simultaneous? It's all happening, everything happening, with nothing happening in the light of divine being. Miracles merely wash away the idea that time exists, that divine being could ever exist in a timeline. (14) Miracles bear witness to truth. They are the witnesses within consciousness that truth is true. We can ask that in the light of divine being. Do miracles bear witness to truth? And hear the light's answer. They're convincing because they arise from conviction. Jesus talks about this conviction, faith. The conviction that we are far more powerful than the personal identity idea that we have of ourselves. It's honoring ourselves, our true self, who we really are, rather than the idea, the concept of a person. Without conviction, they deteriorate into magic. See, they become a play of beliefs. One belief exchanged for another belief. Miracles are the collapse of all beliefs. Which is mindless. Deterioration, they have mindless. Magic is mindless. I'm just saying. And therefore destructive. Or rather, as Jesus' uncreative use of divine being's infinite light. Uncreative use of mind, miscreation, messenger. Yes, those are the same, miscreation. They are convincing because they rise out from conviction. Convincing because they are conviction to ourselves as a divine being, to no longer be persuaded by our own delusions that we're anything other than infinite light of being. That's happiness. 15. Each day should be devoted to miracles. In the light of divine being, should each day be devoted to miracles? Divine light, you can hear it. Everything he says in this book, that light knows. It's just, yes. The purpose of time is to enable you to learn how to use time constructively. Constructively being for the purposes of the expression of divine love and wholeness, and have no other purpose whatsoever other than recognition of light. It's beautiful because the Holy Spirit's taking time, something that was spun out for the purposes to deny light, and repurposes it completely for the recognition and celebration of divinity, so that God is in everything I see. Thus, a teaching device and a means to an end. Time will cease when it is no longer useful in facilitating learning. In the light of divine being, is there any time in the light of divine being? So would there be any need for time once the atonement is accepted fully? So it's merely a use as long as there's an investment in the idea of consciousness that there's something other than light. These are given by the Spirit with so much love, God with so much love for his Son. The immediate means to the atonement, to the recognition and the celebration of divinity. This is happiness. To really see what these miracles are, expression of love with the Father. What a joy to ask Jesus every day, which miracles do I perform? Not that, yeah, show me how to use miracles for the highest good and highest purpose, for happiness. I just ask him, can you have supreme happiness without miracles in terms of the consciousness? We can ask the light, is it without miracles, without expressions of divine love? It's impossible to take a very long time to escape the tractor beam of delusion. We can ask, would it take, without miracles, would it take an extremely long time? How long would it take without miracles? Expressing divine love, learning through Jesus to express divine love through miracles, expression of the love of the Father. Miracles transcend the body. Let's see. In the light of divine being, do miracles transcend the body in our direct experience? You can hear it. Transcend all form. They are sudden shifts into invisibility away from the bodily level. This is why they heal. You take the focus off this hard, rock hard belief that there's a body, to look to the mind, to the power of mind, infinite, unchanging mind. A miracle is a service. Wow. It is the maximal service you can render to another. It honors divinity in all beings. It is a way of loving your neighbor as yourself. You recognize your own and your neighbor's worth simultaneously. It's a celebration of oneness because it collapses the denial that we're separate. It honors your brother. Miracles make minds one in God. We were just celebrating today in joining. Jesus says, when two recognize that they're joined and become happy, joining in light. To see right now, this moment, right here, right now, in the light of divine being, are we joined? Miracles make minds one in God. So we can notice this now because revelation, the temporary suspension of the experience of separation through this direct looking that Jesus is offering, to look at the light first. Miracles. But you notice as we kind of walk away, it's like, wait, it was so peaceful in there. I was focusing on the light. Miracles are the gift given to help clear those subconscious denials. The idea that we can be separate from our brother. They depend on cooperation because the sonship is the sum of all that God created. Miracles, therefore, reflect the laws of eternity and not time. Let's just ask. It's beautiful. Do miracles reflect the laws of eternity in our direct experiences, light beings? They're the expression of the divine light within. Miracles reawaken the awareness that the spirit, not the body, is the altar of truth. In the divine light of being infinite light, is the spirit the altar of truth? Is the light the altar of truth in our direct experience? It's the altar of supreme happiness. Is the light the altar of supreme happiness? This is the recognition that leads to the healing power of the miracle. Teaches us to worship at the altar of God in truth and our divinity, rather than the decision to deny the experience of denial of divinity. Miracles are natural signs of forgiveness. Through miracles, you accept God's forgiveness by extending it to others. Aw. There's only one, so as we forgive others, it's returning us to the recognition that there's only one. And through forgiveness of our brother, we're seeing that we're truly, as we take back the projection, forgiving ourselves for what we did not do. So as we forgive our brother for what he did not do, he's showing us all those places we deny divine love. It's like the boomerang comes back. Very interesting. So projection is a boomerang that goes out. We try to throw out a projection, it comes back and boom. Right? Who feels that suffering? They don't know. You know, we see it's the boomerang of suffering. Miracles are like the boomerang of love. They throw out that mirror, you know, comes back, love comes back. See? Until we see that it's one. Miracles are associated with fear only because of the belief that darkness can hide. Oh, let's put that one up really good. That feels so good. Oh my God, so much love in that. Let's look directly with Jesus and ask for a miracle. I think these light code circles are really starting to show us that we don't even want darkness to hide. Just in case there's any fear associated with miracles, or when you think about it, only because of the belief that darkness can hide. This can make the spiritual journey extremely painful, right? Because here's expression of divinity. Jesus going, you are expressing the Father's love, but we're blocking that impulse because of the fear. Oh no, I can't, well, you know, I can't express the Father's love. That's what we're saying. We deny divinity. Try to hold it down because of this underlying belief that darkness can hide. So let's ask Jesus, is there any belief below our level of awareness that darkness can hide anywhere? Jesus, will you show it to us? And we'll just place that in the light of this infinite power of being that's here. Any idea, the slightest twitch of fear related to miracles. So we can so easily just totally celebrate divinity and open to that miracle. Let those miracles sing, as many as we can accept from the Father. And just notice what happens. We put any belief, any twinge around the idea that darkness can hide, and that we would ever want to hide from ourselves, because that's all it is. We're just hiding from ourselves. Just feel the openness as that clears, to not fear a miracle. Because we see, as the light of divine being, can we see right now that the light is so benevolent? Does the light have one twitch over darkness? That we've hidden darkness, no matter how long we tried to hide from it, run away from it, deny light, all that. Does the light have any? The light is welcoming the prodigal son home now. infinite light now. Can darkness hide anyway, even if we want it to, really? It's an idea. Darkness can't really hide. We can only pretend like it does. We can hide from light. Remember, we've been running around all over for the last couple of weeks looking for a place where the light isn't. So even if we want, we can't hide from the light. We are the light. It's too late, already done. You believe that what your physical eyes can see does not exist. Oh, this was good. We looked at this one in a New Covenant. He brought this one in. Let's just check in on it again. You believe that what your physical eyes cannot see does not exist. Is there any belief that what my physical eyes cannot see does not exist? Put that belief right in the light of divine being and see what happens to it. Does the divine light of being have any concern about what the eyes see? Do our eyes see light of divine being, or we just know? It's like, there's light here, infinite, unchanging light. And let's ask the big kahuna question. In our direct experience, does the light exist? Do we need our eyes to see the light? Jesus promises we'll see what's beyond what the eyes see. That's the light of divine being we're looking at right there, the one. This leads, so you believe that what your physical eyes cannot see does not exist. This leads to denial of spiritual sight. See, real spiritual sight is, well, we'll just ask, is real spiritual sight the light of divinity? Real spiritual light is the light and following the light that leads us home. That's spiritual sight, the recognition of the power of light and acceptance of light. That's why it's so important. He's got this on page 4. See page 2. These two beliefs, the association of miracles with fear and believing that what our eyes do not see does not exist. Those are important and valuable to ask for a miracle for right now, immediately. I'm taking a miracle on that. Miracles rearrange perception and place all levels in true perspective. This is healing because sickness comes from confusing levels. This is just such a great reminder. Non-stop miracles all day. Why would we want to do anything else, actually? Ask Jesus, what's a miracle now? I mean, he said that in the book, but I didn't really, for whatever reason, the plane consciousness, didn't look so deeply under the covers. I mean, I knew that change in perception, I could see that, and it was really helpful, and just, everything come up and try to give it over. Give it over to light, which is really helpful. It is, because it is the collapse of the idea of a personal identity. When I start to look at this and go, he's talking about retraining divine expression, those miracles, when he tells me what a miracle is and how to, beyond the idea of just, okay, here's a little belief I have and I'm going to drop it. Those are helpful. Those are helpful. Those are stepping stones. Now I'm seeing the power to ask him what miracles to perform today. That's to be the divine expression. So it's placing all levels of perception in true perspective as in divine expression. So rather than the perceptual error of other, it's rearranges perception to perceptive wholeness, totality. It collapses the use of perception for the use to prove that we're separate. This is healing because sickness comes from confusing the levels. Because the confusion is at body level. See, that everything's body level. He's bringing us through miracles to the level of infinite mind. Infinite, unchanging mind. Perceptive wholeness beyond a body. Beyond the idea of the level of the body. Just checking in to see if I'm getting it right. Checking in with the one who knows. We can always test everything I say, you know. Take it to the light. Because everyone can. He can hear Jesus. It's like, we can ask, is this because sickness comes from the body level? The investment in the body level. See what he says in your heart. Miracles enable you to heal the sick and raise the dead because you made sickness and death yourself. Okay, let's ask. We can confirm this. In the light of divine being and honesty of God, did we create death and sickness? I never get no on that. I always get yes. And can therefore abolish both. That's the part we really want to hear. Let's read this. We made sickness and death ourselves. Can we hear that in the divine light? Listen to the divine light on that. And therefore, can we abolish them? That's when the angels sing. When we see that we have the powers, infinite being, gone. Death and sickness. Does that just about wipe out every worry we could ever have? How many years, you know, wondering, okay, you know, it's perpetual, the body is perpetual hypochondriism. You know, when am I going to get sick? What happened? Ow, I stubbed my toe. I got to take an aspirin because I got a headache. Think how many times that stuff's going on in a lifetime, like as many times. And the extra lifetimes, if we happen to come a couple extra times, you know, to recycle in consciousness, how often is that stuff happening? Feeling bad, feeling tired, you know, he's going, we can abolish, in the light of divine being and honesty of God, can we abolish both in our direct experience, death and sickness? I love that light. Tells us everything. Aw, it says, you are a miracle. Let's check in with the light. Are we a miracle in the light of divine being? Aw. Capable of creating in the likeness of your creator? Let's ask. I like checking in with the light on that. Are we, as the light of divine being, capable of creating in the likeness of our creator? What does the light say? Yes. Everything else is in your own nightmare. Okay, let's ask, is everything else in our nightmare? Is this a nightmare? Everything else, anything? Oh, so basically he's saying, unless we're creating in the likeness of our creator, we're miscreating a nightmare. Let's ask the light. It's the light about that. It's like, okay, right. And does not exist. Oh. Does any miscreation, any nightmare exist in the light of divine being, direct experience? Only the creations of light. That needs to have a capital L. That's the big light. Are real. In our direct experience as divine being, are only the creations of light real? And here what the light says. Now we're getting into the fun. We're accepting the miracle. We're asking miracles. Not that, I don't even know if I can call it fun anymore. I don't know if I know what fun is anymore. People say, are you having fun? It's like, Because joy is like divine being. We're going for the brass ring here. 24/7 perfect happiness. This is the perfect supreme happiness club we're talking about. I mean, that doesn't, I don't know, can't explain that. Maybe you can, you know, I don't know. I can't even explain it. Just love, happiness, joy, our identity. I guess fun is associated here with the, or I can't even, with an experience. Like I could see that there was always an idea that, okay, have fun. You know, you're going to go do something and it will be fun. Do you see, you know, it was associated with experience. We're beyond experience. Let's ask the light. In the light of divine being, are we beyond all experience? Are we beyond fun? Let's ask that question. Is infinite light beyond fun? Oh my God, it's all there is. That's the place to be. Only creations of light are real. This is rocking. That feels really joyous for today. Oh my gosh. Shining the light is performing miracles given by Jesus, the light itself. And now we know that we can all talk to the light 24/7. The light that tells us when we ask, is the light here? It goes, you can feel it. You might not hear a voice exactly, but you know, because we already know that we're light. The voice that can show us where all those little ideas we had about our identity, all the confusion, the source that can clear up every confusion that we could possibly generate about that we're not light. So we don't have to call it a name. We don't have to call it Jesus. We don't have to call it Holy Spirit. We don't have to call it higher self, or we can call it all of those. I said to someone once, he said, I don't like that Jesus thing. It's like, he doesn't care if he's called Beelzebub. You know, does the light care what it's called? It doesn't have a name. Does the light have a name? The light is us, this. Sameness. All that is. We can know that because we can recognize it. Is the light all that is? Let's just ask Jesus and apply a miracle, because we have the conviction. See, now that we see that we're light, this is the celebration, and it's more than conviction, actually. It's the recognition of light beyond conviction. Beyond conviction. The conviction is required because of the habit of trying to deny and stuff the light, stuff herself in a shoe, as we talked about it, to try to be little and have that experience of weakness. And we're so used to doing that, of course, finding those little places in the subconscious mind. We need the light for that. But we can ask, because we're powerful, infinite beings. We can say, everything is a nightmare. Jesus, will you show me the desire for this nightmare? And here at the light says, will you show me the desire so I can just put that desire right here in the light right now? The itch for a nightmare. And see whether any part of a nightmare can last in the light of divine being. And walk this earth in the world, but not of the world. Celebrating God's love through miracles expression of divinity. We can ask. in the light of divine being and honesty of God, is this possible in this lifetime? To walk this earth as expressions of all the love that God has for us. To be supremely happy 24/7, is that possible in the light of divine being and honesty of God? Thank you, Father, for this holy book. Thank you for the gift of my brothers. Thank you for miracles. Amen. All love from San Juan Kosala. My head is at your holy feet.